Hello and welcome to Central Valley Entertainment. This is today's Central California News Roundup for Friday, April 24th, 2026. Today we're going over some of the top local stories making headlines across the Central Valley. We'll cover public safety updates, court cases, severe weather damage, local government decisions, and community stories that people around our region are talking about. As always, the source links are included with each story so you can check the original reporting for more details. Now let's get into the first story. So here we have 3 killed in a high-speed crash in southwest Bakersfield. Key points are Bakersfield police are investigating a deadly crash near Summer Springs Drive and Harris Road. 3 people were reported killed in the collision. The case is one of the most serious public safety stories in the region today. Investigators are expected to release more details on cause and identities. This is in Bakersfield, Kern County. The source is Bakersfield Now, KBAK, KBFX. And let's click the link to see more about that. And now that we're on the source article, the biggest thing to understand is that this crash is still under investigation. According to Bakersfield Now, police responded to the area of Summer Springs Drive and Harris Road after a serious crash in southwest Bakersfield. The confirmed details that make this story stand out is that 3 people were killed. At this point, investigators still need to determine exactly what led to the collision. In crashes like this, police often look at speed, roadway conditions, possible impairment, and whether any other vehicles were involved. We'll be watching for any updates from Bakersfield police, including the names of the victims and any findings from the investigation. Next, we're going to Fresno, where workers stepped in during a frightening situation involving children. Fresno Unified Workers helped stop a suspected kidnapper. So we covered this story in a short that we created, but the key points to this one are workers stepped in after a vehicle was allegedly stolen with children inside. The children were reported safe. The suspect was reported in custody facing kidnapping and child endangerment charges. The case drew major attention because of the quick response by people nearby. The source for this story is ABC 30 Action News. Let's click the link and take a look at that. This video captures workers holding down the suspect. So, looking at the source article, this story stands out because it involved children and a fast response from people nearby. ABC 30 reported that Fresno Unified Workers helped hold down a suspect after a vehicle was allegedly stolen with children inside. The most important update is that the children were reported safe. The suspect was reported in custody, facing charges that included kidnapping, child endangerment. Those charges will now move through the court process. What makes this story especially emotional is the way workers reportedly reacted when they realized kids were involved. They didn't wait around, they stepped in and helped stop the situation from getting worse. For Fresno families, this is the type of story that feels very close to home. It also shows how quickly a normal day can turn into an emergency. Next, we're staying in Fresno County for a developing missing person investigation in Fowler. The key points to this story are an urgent search is underway for a National Raising Company employee. The employee was reported missing following an incident in Fowler. Officials have not released full details about what happened. This was earlier when I wrote this, and I just checked the source link before this recording, and it does show that he was recovered. His body was recovered from digester at National Raising Company facility. This man went missing yesterday around 1 o'clock. Okay, it says responded to a missing person call around 2:30. And they looked for him, and it was today at around 10 in the morning, I want to say 10 a.m. Friday. Dive team went in around 1 a.m. and they were able to recover his body. Originally, we didn't know the identity. That was also released today. It was Juan Patino, and this all happened while working at the facility. He was actively pumping rainwater off of a tarp. That was his last known location. Next, we're moving to Stockton, where prosecutors have filed serious charges in a criminal case. The Stockton man was charged with 2 sexual assault attacks. The key points are San Joaquin County DA filed charges tied to 2 separate sexual assault attacks. The accused was arraigned on multiple violent felony sexual assault charges. If convicted, the defendant could face a potential life sentence. The criminal case is now moving through court. The source, this is Stocktonian. If we click the link and read more about this, let's see. So San Joaquin County DA charges man in 2 sexual assault attacks. So I read through this one as well, and looking at the Stocktonian report, this is a serious court story out of San Joaquin County. The San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office filed charges against this 35-year-old man in connection with 2 separate sexual assault attacks in Stockton. Because this is a criminal case, it's important to say this clearly. These are charges and allegations at this stage. The defendant is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court. The report says that the man was arraigned on multiple violent felony sexual assault charges, and if convicted, he could face a potential life sentence. For the Stockton community, this case is important because it involves public safety, violent allegations, and the court process. We'll watch for future hearings and any updates from prosecutors or law enforcement. Now we're going to Sacramento, where a major mass shooting trial is continuing. K Street mass shooting trial continues in Sacramento. Witness testimonies continued in Sacramento K Street mass shooting trial. The 2022 shooting killed 6 people and wounded 12 others. Prosecutors are presenting evidence as the high-profile case moves forward. This remains one of Sacramento's biggest criminal trials in recent years. Source: Sacramento Bee. One K Street witness was hit by gunfire. Another prayed for her life as shots rang out. When I read through this, the update is focused on testimony in one of Sacramento's most high-profile criminal cases. The trial is connected to the K Street mass shooting from April 2022. That shooting killed 6 people, wounded 12, as crowds were leaving bars and nightclubs downtown. The Sacramento Bee reported that witnesses described fear and chaos from that night. Prosecutors are continuing to present evidence as the trial moves forward. 2 defendants, Dondre Martin and Matula Payton, each face 3 murder charges in the case. As always, the final decision will come from the jury based on the evidence presented in court. This case remains important because it affected victims, families, downtown Sacramento, and the larger conversation about public safety in nightlife areas. Next, we'll be turning to the weather because several tornadoes were confirmed across the Central Valley. 4 tornadoes confirmed across the Central Valley. The National Weather Service confirmed 4 tornadoes from Tuesday's storm. Touchdowns were reported near Atwater, Clovis, Biola, and Terabella. The Atwater tornado was rated EF1 with peak winds near 110 miles per hour. The storms damaged homes, trees, barns, and farm areas. Source: ABC 30, National Weather Service. And that here shows a video of the incident. You guys can watch that. Again, all the links will be in the description. And for you listening on podcast, all our videos and all our podcasts are available in video form on YouTube. So for the tornadoes, this is one of the most unusual Central Valley stories of the week. If you look at this, it's pretty wild. If you're from Central California, it's very rare to hear something like a tornado. The National Weather Service confirmed multiple tornadoes from Tuesday's storm system that affected areas including places near Atwater, Clovis, Biola, and Terabella. The Atwater tornado was especially notable because it was rated EF1 with estimated peak winds near 110 miles per hour. That kind of wind can damage roofs, barns, trees, fences, and farm structures. This story matters because many people in the Central Valley do not expect tornado damage. We usually think heat, fog, drought, flooding before we think of tornadoes. But this storm showed that severe weather can happen in our region. It also shows why weather alerts should be taken seriously, even when the event seems rare for Central California. Something for you to take a look at and just be amazed. If you're from the valley, you'll definitely be amazed. Next, we're going back to Fresno for a local government decision that sparked a lot of debate. Fresno drops Cesar Chavez's name from road stretch. Fresno voted to remove the Cesar Chavez name from a nearly 7-mile road stretch. The corridor will return to its original 3 road names. The issue sparked debate over identity, history, and business impacts. The vote marks a major local government decision. Source ABC 30 Action News. Looking at this source article, we see that Fresno made a decision to reverse a major road name. ABC 30 reported that the city voted to remove the Cesar Chavez name from a nearly 7-mile stretch of road. The corridor will return to its original 3 road names. This issue has been controversial because it touches on more than street signs. It involves history, identity, business addresses, emergency response, and how the city chooses to honor important figures. Supporters of the Cesar Chavez name saw it was a way to recognize his work and legacy. Others raised concerns about confusion for residents and businesses along the route. For now, the confirmed updates is that Fresno city leaders voted to drop the Cesar Chavez name from that stretch. This will likely continue to be discussed in the community. And next, we're heading to Modesto, where police announced a DUI checkpoint. Modesto police planned DUI checkpoint Friday night. Modesto police announced a DUI checkpoint for Friday night, April 24th. The checkpoint is planned to run from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. Police say the goal is to reduce crashes and deter impaired driving. Drivers are encouraged to use a designated driver or ride share. This is courtesy Modesto B, and you can find the link. The link is gonna tell us kind of the same thing. It's pretty straightforward, but important news for drivers in Modesto. Police announced a DUI checkpoint for Friday night, April 24th. The checkpoint was planned to run from 8 to 3, 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. These checkpoints are usually announced ahead of time because the goal is not only to make arrests, the bigger goal is to prevent impaired driving before it happens. Police use checkpoints to look for drivers who may be under the influence of alcohol, drugs, cannabis, or certain medications that affect reaction time. For anyone in Modesto or Stanislaus County, the message is simple. Plan ahead. Use a designated driver, call a rideshare, or stay where you are if you should not be driving. Now we're moving to Patterson for a school embezzlement case update. Patterson school embezzlement case gets restitution order. A court ordered $750,000 in restitution in a Patterson school embezzlement case. The restitution is tied to a larger $1.5 million case. The case highlights concerns over school funds and public trust. More legal and repayment updates may still follow. It's courtesy Modesto B again. And I have to search for this one. Embezzlement, restitution. Is this the Patterson? Yep. So looking at this one, the main update is the restitution order connected to the Patterson school embezzlement case. The Modesto B reported that a court ordered $750,000 in restitution. That means the court is requiring money to be repaid as part of the case. This story matters because it involves school funds and public trust. When money connected to education is misused, it can affect students, staff, families, and taxpayers. The restitution order is tied to a larger reported $1.5 million embezzlement case. So even though this update is about repayment, the bigger issue is accountability. The next thing to watch is whether the money is actually repaid and whether any additional court updates come out of the case. Next, we're going to Merced County, where deputies reported a weapons and narcotics arrest. Merced County search finds firearms and narcotics. Authorities arrested a 29-year-old man after a search warrant at a Perez Drive home. Officials reported firearms, cocaine, and psilocybin mushrooms were found. The sheriff's office said the suspect was booked into the Merced County jail. The case involves weapons and narcotics allegations. This is sourced from GV Wire and Merced County Sheriff's Office. So Merced County authorities arrest felon after search uncovers guns and narcotics. This page update comes from a search warrant investigation in Merced County. JV Wire reported that authorities arrested a 29-year-old man after a search at a Perez Drive home. Officials reported finding firearms, cocaine, psilocybin mushrooms. The Merced County Sheriff's Office also identified the suspect as Elias Camarillo and said he was booked into Merced County Jail. This story is important because it involves both firearms and narcotics. Authorities also said the suspect was a felon, which makes the firearm allegations more serious. At this stage, these are still allegations that must move through the court system. The confirmed update is that a search warrant led to an arrest and the reported seizure of weapons and drugs. That's today's Central California News Roundup from Central Valley Entertainment. We covered major local updates involving public safety, courts, severe weather, city government, and community issues across the region. For more Central Valley news, crime updates, local businesses, food spots, events, and community stories, make sure to follow Central Valley Entertainment and visit centralvalleyentertainment.com.